Hey, how's everyone doing? Hello, this is Mike Gilcreast with the Mike Gilcreast Show. Happy to be here. I'm so glad all has tuned in with us and things are going on. We thank you all for hitting that subscribe button. We got new followers, and so we're glad that that people are teaming up with us, taking part in the conversations that we're having, and just everything. I'm just grateful for the wide variety of questions, even the ones that give me you know that moment where I have to think about it, before I answer. So I appreciate all questions and as we go forward, because I think when you ask questions, you're learning as well, and so I'm just grateful that everyone have a chance to just communicate, and we're doing some lively stuff. This is like kind of outstanding. And I know Wednesday is my late day because I have Bible study at church, and we just got in for that. We had a great time. You can see us online at the church website on Facebook. Higher Hope Apostolic Church. Just plug that in. You can see, what we talked about. So just having awesome times, and even yesterday, today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and tomorrow through Saturday, I'm in Melbourne, Florida, doing autographs, for my book, Unworthy, Chosen, and Forgiven. And so it's a pleasure, that I didn't know that this book would be doing, as well as it's doing, Unworthy, Chosen, and Forgiven. It's my book of my life story, and we're signing autographs. We're getting rid of boxes, cases of books, and I'm just glad that people are participating. People have came by and said they read it, and my first question to people is what do you think? And they said, great book, awesome book. People are involved. One guy said he dropped it, and he's going to pick it back up. And he bought a book last time I was down there. And he came in yesterday and bought three more books. And so shout out to Stan. I appreciate him, and he's a really humble brother. I worked with him at the Pentagon years ago, and not knowing he's going to be in Florida, and so we're crossing paths. I just met his lovely wife today, and just having fun. But the book, and tomorrow I know I'm getting rid of another box. I mean, they just coming in buying it, and people are buying two and three. We had a guy, it was really touching for him on Monday, and he bought a book, and then he said, "Hold on," and then he wanted another book, and tears in his eyes. I'm like, oh wow. And so I did not know seriously that the story I have would be as impactful that is have been, and even today, we had to we used up our Kleenex. Now we had to get another packs of Kleenex, because we have to keep Kleenex, because people, and I realize you never know what people are going through, and that's why I do these shows. That's why I'm doing podcasts. Podcast is a derivative. It came from my book signings, and what people are going through, and the pain and suffering. So you never know. You never know what folks are going through. But we see tears. I mean, Lord have mercy. But people are hurting, and they've been hurt. They're hurting. They're hurting with other people. I mean, just to get out. I told you I always say get something new. When I go do a book signing, I'm always getting something new. Seriously, and I don't know if I held my book up real too fast, but I'll hold it up again because I want you to get a copy, and don't get it just to support me. This book is changing lives. Unworthy, Chosen, and Forgiven. And my name's at the type, Michael Gilcreast. And get your copy. Get your copy. I'm telling you, it's impactful. They're teaching it in churches. And I just wanted to say that since I'm here. We're not back again till Friday at 8 p.m. And so I'm like, wow. Wow. So I'm leaving there. We have to, rush up to get here. We're like an hour and a half away to get back here so we could do podcasts. And but we left there, went to church, and now we're here. Whew. Can I breathe? Sometimes you gotta stop and take a deep breath. But the lives that are being touched, it touches me, just to be here. And if this was my TV timeout or my commercial, this is it. to be able to share my thoughts on this. And then tomorrow we're back at it again. And so we're up in the morning and hitting that hour and a half drive and back down there. But if you got the book, I'm glad you got it. If you haven't got it, pick up a copy. I mean, and we're planning to be at the PAW conference in New Orleans, and I always say next time I'll get a flyer, I'll post it up there. So if you're down there, look me up. I will be there at the convention center for a whole week. Actually, I think it's a little longer week. I think it's like 8 days, and so we're doing a book signing there at the PAW conference, Pentecostal Assemblies of the World, and so we're doing the conference, and then the following week we back that Saturday. I preach Sunday at our church, and then that Monday we're headed up to Georgia and at the Westin, and so we'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at the Westin, and so there for a whole week. And so doing a book signing there, and also participating as one of the bishops because that's part of my organization I'm with. It's called AFFI, Apostolic Faith Fellowship, and we're busy, and then we have other stuff in between. I think we have a signing coming up in North Carolina, in Goldsboro. So. Whew, Lord, but God is good. Things are just going great. Things are just moving. I'm just so pleased, ecstatic, that I'm blessed the way I am, doing the things I'm doing. It's just mind blowing. Really, it is. It's mind blowing. And so I'm here to do it and, take the charge and go for it and just be a blessing to others. And then the conversations we're having with people. I'm telling you, this show is perfect. We appointed so many people to the show, and we're getting new folks joining. Subscribe, tell your friends about this, and bring the conversation. And if you have an interesting topic and you say, I want to, be on this show, I'm not going to make it hard for you. And we don't allow any cussing. We don't talk about people. But other than that, we bring people in and just have a great time. And go from there. Because if I could do the show and not curse. And then before I got in church, oh my God, my mouth was terrible. And you'll read parts of that in my book, So I was there, but I've been, set free, delivered, and I don't do those things. So I don't allow those things here. And so we just, going forward, having fun. And so I'm glad everyone's here. I'm giving you the catch up from today. And then Friday, I have more to tell you because we have a couple more signings and there's no way I can hit everything. But people are glad. And then I had a confirmation that was awesome because I told them, I said, I'm working right now on the women's book and I'm writing and trying to get it done. And I'm not rushing, but I'm just trying to get it done. Another lady told me, she said, you should write a book for women. And I'm like, wow. And that was just confirmation. It was heartfelt to me. Seriously. It was heartfelt because I need encouragement too. Believe it or not. I need encouragement. I need people to tell me they appreciate me or they appreciate what I'm doing. Because it takes a lot to do what you're doing. And then you don't know if people like it. And it's like, and when they do, oh my God. And so that's pretty awesome. So we're here, live and Mike Gilcreast show. And I just, thank God for what's happened. I'll give a shout out to Linda, because that's my sister-in-law. And so she's out there and I'm supporting and Mel's not here, but Linda said hello. And so we just appreciate everyone, the support we're getting and things is happening. Tune in. I know it's late, but you can spare a few minutes. I mean, I'm on a little bit earlier than the news. And so that's a good way to look at it. And this is great news because we're getting it from a supernatural point of view. We're getting it from a personal point of view. We're getting it from just all types of level and experience that I bring to the table, and appreciate. Linda told me congratulations and thank you. But we're working hard. I call it Mel sometimes, but Melody. We're working hard, and believe me, she's working hard. And the thing is, it doesn't let up. But we want to bring our best forward to you all. We want you to receive the best that we could possibly give you. So I believe in excellence, for real. So that's important to me. And I want to give you great conversation. I want to give you good, lead points and advice and stuff that you could take and run with this and pretty much take it to the bank, And even talked about how my book encouraged other people to write their books, write their biographies, because I did not know a book could have it makes so many impressions upon people, but it does. And I'm glad it does. I'm glad my book, is doing that. And I'm talking about important stuff, and relationships, divorce, so forth, so on. And we have a host of people following us, and we're on Spotify now, and oh my God, things are just taking off. We're on Twitter, and you could pick up the show, the Mike Gilcreast show out there, and just join in. Some is just voice. Some people like to just wear headphones at work and listen to me on their podcast. They want to listen to me. Oh my God, I'm excited. So when I see people, and I can't be like this at a book signing. I have to be more melancholy and chilled but when I'm on the podcast, I can talk. When I'm at church, I can talk. When I'm in the public, and I have a lot of energy, and I have a lot of excitement, and I have a great life and great family, and things moving forward. And so I'm just trying to just take this and move forward. Friday, I told my other grandson I was giving him a shout out. So Friday, I give him a shout out as well. And so that's pretty much it for now. But let's talk about relationships and divorce, and those are two hot topics, and we could take and go so many thousands of directions with this, because relationship is just what it is. I talk to people. I talked to this young lady today, and I hope she get back with me. But she got it. She act. Oh man, she got it. She understood everything I was saying, and it was right on point. I said, I gotta have you on my show, but she got it. I was so pleased to talk to her, and oh man, she got it. She understand. She understood everything, my points of view, what I'm talking about, how what it is to be in a relationship, the direction it was going. She was accepting of this, and that. I'm like, whew. I mean, cause sometimes I think I'm pulling my hair out, the hair I don't have, right? And trying to get my point across to everyone, and saying, letting them know how important relationship is, but to set it on the right plateau or foundation so you can build upon it. She had it. She checked off everything every direction I could go into. She had it, and I was just so pleased. I was so pleased. I'm like, wow. Like when I'm saying I'm not crazy, right? I'm not. I'm not crazy, and so I know I'm not crazy. It's so nice when people actually receive what you're saying. They believe what you're saying, and I think it's pretty fantastic. But it excites me, to know that the work I'm doing is not in vain. Drinking me a little coconut water, and so I'm you know just chill my voice, try to calm down a little bit. I just talked for another hour ago, so but we're here, and where did we leave off? What is relationship? What should relationship be? How disappointing are relationships? Have you ever been disappointed, in a relationship? It was nothing of what you thought it should have been. It was everything. It was disastrous. Have that ever happened to you? To be in a relationship and it was nothing that you anticipated. It was nothing that you wanted. It was nothing you wanted to get involved with it. But the part I don't understand is, why do you stay? So two things, were you disappointed in relationships? Number one. And number two, why'd you stay? Why do people stay in relationships and they're disappointed? They're not happy. They're not, at ease. I mean, talk to me. Talk to me. And so let me see if I could put this out right quick. Let me see something. I was gonna see if I could send the what do you call it? I can't think of the name of it. Duh. The link. I think it's too late. Is it too late to put the link out? Yeah, I think. I'm not sure if it's a link out there or not. I don't know if you can chime in or not, but anyway, because I think I'm supposed to put that out there earlier, and but have you ever been in a relationship and you're disappointed? It was nothing of what you wanted. It was all just disappointing, one thing after another, and after the first thing disappoints you, then the next thing disappoints you. But my question is, why'd you stay? Why'd you stay? Why you stay in such a relationship and it was nothing of what you want? And I'll tell you, and the thing is, the answer to this question is not oblivious. It's not far reaching. It's not far fetched. The thing is, a lot of people, and probably millions, for real, stay in relationships and they're not satisfied. They're not happy. They're not. And I know this being a man. I've been married before. A man will stay in a relationship even if he's not happy until he's ready to leave. So he will be in a relationship being miserable. And because sometimes it ain't just a woman that's miserable, men get miserable too. And so when I talk to people, I know firsthand, and thing is, I don't bring you, tip of the tip of the iceberg stuff. I bring you actual substance you know. And so I see this right, and so 'cause I asked the question, why we stay in a relationship, and we're not happy. Can you share a specific situation where you learned a valuable lesson about a relationship? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, nothing's ever what it seems. Number one, it's never what it seems. It's always uh, 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 um, uh, unknown, unseen. And so it's kind of like in front of you, but hidden. Because people, and to answer the question, right? People, they will always bring the best perspective of themselves. Because people don't want you to look at them and gain a negative thought. They don't want to look at you and look at them and then you think, oh, this. Nobody wants to be thought of in a dark light. You know what I mean? That's like an oxymoron, dark light. But seriously, and people want to be seen in a positive fashion. You know, and so for me, can you share with me a specific where you learned about a valuable lesson? And thing is, read my book. Seriously, I've been set up in situations. So I'm talking about the book, but I'm doing a global type thing. All right, and I'm not pinpointing it in the book, but it's times, and I'll tell you this one could have jacked me up because I already have a couple sons, right? And I was in a relationship with people and different people, and it's amazing when they tried to get pregnant and you didn't know or you didn't want them to get pregnant. And what I wasn't married, but I was single. But I'm giving you an instance where it jacked up my mind when folks try to get pregnant. Now, folks, it have to be a female, right? But I don't want to talk about my book. I'm just talking in general, and a true story, But folks, but they try to get pregnant to trap you in that relationship. And so for me, yes, I learned a valuable lesson. And that's why y'all probably heard me say in one of my sessions when I was on, right, one of my shows, um, I have to be married. Not that I have to be married because I can live single, and I did this a couple segments back, right? But I have to be married, and in saying that, because I think I'm better to prepare to live life when I'm sharing my life with someone else. And so that's important to me. May not be important to everybody. But I know people would set you up. So that's why you got to get to know the person that you're going to marry. And so that was a valuable lesson I learned. That people will give you their best personality and you think you're good to go. You got to protect yourself at all times. For real. And so I gave y'all something far fetched, but that was real. But it's other stuff. And I could give you one where Somebody might borrow money for you from you, and they never intend to pay you back. And these are friends. You know, it was a lady at the Pentagon. She borrowed $2 from me. $2. $2. Like maybe 30 years ago, right? But maybe 25 years ago. And it's a shame. I should be remembering. That's a shame. I should not be remembering. That's oh boy. I should not be remembering that, right? But she bought $2 from me. I still remember. I forgave her for it, but I never forgot it for real. She bought $2. You know, and I'll tell you. Why I remember it for real. We was going through such a hard, horrific thing, and my wife and I. I mean, we tell people that we were so broke we couldn't go for chicken wings. And so that $2 stands out in my mind because it was in that part of our life early on in the marriage, not when you build up and grow and stuff like that. And so $2. And I still remember it. Oh my God, that's a shame. All right, I don't want the $2 back. I'm done. I'm good with it. But I never forgot it. Seriously. And but I learned from that. You gotta be careful, who you borrow, who people who borrow money from you. You have to be careful. And sometimes that borrowing money can hurt a relationship. It can hurt a family. I mean, you gotta be careful. You can't loan everybody everything. And sometimes I've gotten to the point, well, my wife and I, we got to the point where either we'll help you or we're not. And so we don't even like to get into the borrowing because we know that can turn into a negative animal, a wild beast, And so don't want to do that because I want people to keep their word. And I'd rather forgive them, that they, able to move forward. And so yeah. But I hope I answered the question. And so that's a valuable lesson. So I gave y'all two instances on that, and somebody could share. And so look, what is this one? It says, do you prioritize your own needs while also supporting your partners? Um, um, I need more on that. I need more on that, and because that's kind of open, because it depends on what the need is. You know, are you talking about sex? You talking about buying clothes? You talking about money? So it depends on education, going to school. You got to take a trip and they can't go. I mean, and so my wife and I, we do everything together. So it's not like, you know, I could talk about us, but uh, we don't have that issue. We understand, you know, who needs what and who needs to get something or whatever. If she needs, medical care, we're gonna make sure we get that. She need a prescription, we're gonna get that. It just depends on what it is, because that's wide open. I can read so many ways into that. So you got to clarify that for me, all right? And so the next one uh, is it possible to be in love with two people at the same time? Why in the world y'all ask me that question? I'm a pastor. Oh my God! I gotta. Just wait 1 second. I have to do this for this one. That's funny. And then I need this. Oh, what's going on? Anyways, all right. So the audience laughing with me, right? And so you gotta be careful. Uh, can you be in love with two people at the same time? Y'all want the honest answer? All right, I'll give you a Bible, right? The Bible says you can't love like two wives, right? Or have two masters, and you have to love one and like the other. That's biblical. That's the Bible. Can two people struggle? If you almost or you're in the mindset, I'm giving you a good answer, right? On top of that, on top of the Bible. If you're in the mindset to leave, because people say they can be in love with two people at one time. I think it's hard to do that. Uh, uh, Anything's possible, But I think if you're about to exit your first relationship and you fall for another person, I think that's more likely, to happen because you kind of left where you are. I seen a guy, he's married, he got two wives, right? And they're cool with it. But it's to a point. Something's going to happen because I have personal experience, to be in similar, relationship. But we're not talking about me. I'm not trying to get into that. And then I watch a guy. I heard of a story of a guy. He got his girlfriend pregnant, and somehow or another, she was okay with him having an affair with the mom and getting the mom pregnant. So and then he's on screen with the mom and the daughter, and they're both pregnant. Come on. And so uh, um, can people be in love with it's I think it can be done, but not practical. Not practical. It's not the thing. That's why people have murder, suicide, and the two wives and somebody try to poison each other because somebody's going to get jealous and somebody going to feel like they're less effective. Especially women, they're like cats. If women are the biggest competitors out there, and so you don't betray a woman. Come on now, and so uh, uh, in that aspect. Now, is it possible? Anything's possible. Uh, um, um, you could develop feelings for somebody else, but it's got to take away from where you are. Really, it's got to take away from where you're at. You can't be in two duplicate relationships, and somebody's going to take less. And if you know people at all, nobody wants to be last on totem pole. Everybody wants to ball. I tell my wife, hey, I ain't got time for you. I'm going to spend time with Shirley over here, and I'll help her fix her car, and we're going shopping, and then we're going to get something to eat. You know, I, I think my wife's going to have a problem with that. You know, but not just my wife, any woman. And so that's from a man's perspective. But as a woman, I think when they do that and they have there's some religions where they have multiple wives. I'm not the guy. I can't do that. I mean, I may have the onset of people that was in my life, and the thing is I I can never be honest and keep multiple relationships. I have to lie. I had to lie seriously. And if you're lying in relationship to move forward, it's not going to work anyway. And uh, um, so hopefully that answered the question. I gave the biblical answer, and because I don't think you want to toy with that, because I think in the end somebody might get hurt for real. All right, what else we have? Let's see what this is. What advice would you give someone struggling in a long distance relationship? Lord Jesus, why y'all ask me so hard questions? All this stuff is in my book, and I married my wife, and we were in a long distance relationship. When you read my book, I'm out of the military now, but I used to lie on the military and say, you know what, I'm going on duty. I told my job that I'm going on duty and this, that, and other, and I wasn't, and only so I could see Mel, my wife, and so we were dating, and so I lied, and so I'll tell you, you gotta. When you do multiple things, you gotta lie. But anyway, because I was living with, in a situation at the same time. And so you gotta lie. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. And I knew I was exiting the relationship I was in to go to the relationship I was going to. That's why I say it's difficult to love two people at the same time. I lived the life. I was living it. And so I know it's almost impossible to do it. When guys have a concubine or a woman on the side or a side piece, whatever you want to call it, you know, uh, um, she has to understand that her relationship is only to fulfill eros or sexual type role. That's it. You don't get the wife, you don't get the birthdays, you don't get the So you gotta kind of like it's almost like selling your soul just to have companionship. That's nothing. That's not, you're going to be empty. You're going to be lonely, and you'll start thinking about it, and then you'll start trying to mess up that man's relationship because you want all of him now. but you're not going to get none of him because once you mess up the guy's game, y'all both loses. He either stay with his wife or to leave both alone, the wife and the girl on the side, or the girls on the side, and move on to the next relationship. That's just how men operate, and so that's where that's at. Hopefully that's oh you know long distance relationship, they work if you're going to be honest and committed and make time for each other along the way. I did it with my wife, and so it was hard, and so I don't like chances of me doing another relationship if I was single is not. It just it's too much work. You know, and too much work. But if you have the time, I mean, if you can handle it and you don't do things right the right way and wait and date until you're married and go for it, I think it's excellent. And and well, last question I have here is like what we have for now. What are some things you admire most about your partner? Well, it's a lot. It's not one thing because in order to have relationship, you must have like things in common, and oh, somebody said I agree. Yeah, you gotta have things in common, and then you go from there. But for me, it's the little things, And so if you're asking me that question, I like the little things. It's not the big things for me. It's the tiny things. you know, and that's important to me. Tiny things, So that's why I like when she does tiny things. She used to. Oh, I ain't gonna tell you because she don't want me to tell all her secrets and stuff like that, But she did so many things that was. She come around when I first started dating her. I'll tell you this one, right? And no woman has ever did this for me, right? And so I'll tell you this, right? And the story's in my book, but I had to lie about it. But anyway, she brought me a teddy bear that says hugs and kisses. And this 30 plus years ago. Today I still have that teddy bear, right? And then she gave me a basket. No woman has ever did that for me. And so it's the little things that I admire the most. That I'm not a big I'm not even crazy about jewelry. I wear watches and maybe some of them natural bracelets. I got natural crosses made by hands. I got in Dominican Republic, and I get so many comments on this cross. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I got a lot of comments on this cross, but it's not flashy. I'm not a flashy person. So the big things. I like driving a nice car. We drive a couple nice cars and we live in a nice house. I'm simple. To have quality time with the person I love. I mean, my wife, and so um, um, that that's enough for me. We take a trip. I don't care where we go. Well, and a lot of times we decide together. But the thing is, we said we go wherever, as long as we're together. That was important to me. But I didn't make it up. But it made sense because I'm like, if you could be anywhere and get lost in each other, that's the thing. All right, that's pretty awesome, right? And so uh, um, for me, seriously, and I'm not a big guy. I'm not a. I got everything I want, and so it's the little things, you know. I want a new house. I mean, I don't expect my wife to say, here's a new house. That's something we'll build together, and I live in a new house, and my last house was a new house. But the thing is, I still want to build that final house, and go from there. And so that's it. At one level, everything, and so forth, so on. But I'm working hard to get there, and so forth, so on. So eventually we get there. Uh, um, and somebody agree with what I'm saying. But seriously, if you could pay attention to the little things, that's how you know how strong your relationship is. When your spouse, can look at you and give you the little tiniest things that you look for. For me, that's a big deal. And I think for women, even though I'm a man, a lot of times the woman, and I think, I have to give you my opinion, they like little things too. When I'm like I said, I'm not flashy, and you, I like the song. I don't play it, but I remember a long time ago. It says, "Don't go changing, trying to please me. Don't change the color of your hair." And uh, I think it's Bill Weathers or something who sang the song, and that's me. Like, don't dye your hair to please me. Don't cut your eyebrows off to please me. Don't put a pencil on your, and so I want to see you as you are, your natural beauty. That's important to me, I'm more involved into the female, and that's probably what got me real in trouble because I paid a lot of attention to females, and um, but I learned, my wife, I learned her, um, but that seriously, I can't say enough about it. That's important to me, the little things, you know, uh, um, whether you run my bath water or my wife, she runs me the best bath water, and she was like, she just, say, I got something good for you today, and then the massages I get, I mean, Lord have mercy, I mean, because I'm stressed out during the day. I really am. I have so much on my mind, and she knows, like I need that, and I never asked for it. It's just, you know, if I did something, extraneous type work, then I definitely, but when I go to bed like late because I don't I'm not a big sleeper. I don't need a whole bunch of sleep and stuff like that. But she wakes up and I'm like, she just sensed me to be there. It's weird. And so that kind of stuff is more important to me. And hopefully I answer your question. All right. And so I said my mom always said that the little things is they count. Cause if it's always big things, then you almost know that you could buy someone. And I'm not for sale. And so regardless of what my life used to be, I'm not for sale. I'm not playing those games. I'm not selling my soul to do whatever. And I told someone, I said, I'm not even selling my soul to make a movie. And I'm working on a movie, but I want to do it the right way. So it's just obstacles that we have to jump over to get there. And eventually we get there. And so that happens, in that way. So hopefully that said something. But relationships, you know, I believe it seems like it's no perfect relationship. And as soon as you get one, something go wrong or you can't get it right. And it's always bad. It's always upsetting. It's always, and I talk like this because I see it all the time. I live some of it, I know what it's like to be in a miserable relationship, and not really that person's fault. Sometimes you could look at things and you're like, it'll never reach to you where you want to be at. You'll never come together. And sometimes that just means you're with the wrong person, you know. And so you take it and go from there. But relationship is what you make it. But you have to know who you're getting married to. I wish there was a litmus test, you know, like Myers Briggs, and so you can test and look at, excuse me, certain questions. Boom, 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 and it probably is on them online dating things, but I don't believe in those things. I don't want nobody to match my personality. This, that, another. I'm not a robot. I have to laugh at some things because I this stuff just pops in my mind. But I don't want a logical relationship. I don't want it to make sense. I want to learn that other person and to show value added. Like, this is what I'm getting. This is what I'm going after. I want to learn and say, this computes. This makes sense. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm gonna be at. I do not want to be in a relationship and I'm miserable. I don't want to be there. And I'd rather be by myself than to be in a relationship that's miserable. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. But at the same time, people do not want to be by themselves. And so they endure. And that's what a lot of guys, I'm telling you, first and foremost, and guys that stay in a relationship and they're not even happy. Seriously. And as till they figure out it's time to move on, or something else comes along, they just stay right there. And it's weird, but it's like, you ever see lions lay around, and then that lion's comfortable, so he's not doing too much of nothing, and then a younger lion comes and says, "I'm taking over your pride." And then they fight, and the younger lion chases off the older lion because he's old, and he goes into the wilderness and eventually dies off, right? And but that's kind of like life, and that's kind of like the mindset of a guy who's in a relationship and he's not happy. And so so and, and the signs are there. You could always tell, when someone's not happy, when they're in a relationship. And that's why people start cheating and this, that, and other, and looking for something else, and da 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 da. And so I'm just putting it out there. Um, Long distance relationship. I hope I answered the question. All right. Uh, um, I wanted to say something. If you look at relationship, what's lost? We stay in relationships and we're not happy. But how do that get lost? You know, I have answers. I could talk about it. But I dare people to look at their relationships and say, you know what? I could do better. Or I could rekindle this. Or I could bring this back. You know what the problem is with relationships? The number one problem, right, let me see if I can put this up here in a different way, right? Hold on 1 second, all right? I'll do it in two parts, right? All right, y'all see it out there? People don't listen. Well, you can't see it. Let me put it out there. People don't listen and people don't talk. Those two things, if you sum that up right there, all right, I'm putting it back out there, right? People don't listen and people don't talk. All right. So that's the number one thing that's wrong with relationships. And so out of that, people are misunderstood because you don't listen and you don't talk. What is that called? It's one word: communication. For the lack of communication, that's what we get. So you're at a standstill. You can't move forward because you don't listen and you don't talk. We assume and we go off. As soon as we think something, we go off. Ask the question. I was watching Oprah Winfrey one time, and she was doing a show on how, when you're communicating, if somebody say, I want you to go to the store and pick up some cucumbers, right? Or pick up some watermelon, or pickles or whatever, right? And you'll get to the store and say, what am I supposed to get? Our attention span is so crowded or clouded that we cannot comprehend the simple things that exist in life, in conversation. We don't comprehend because we assume that's what the person going to say, and we jump to action versus clarifying it before you even leave. Let me write this down. I'm going to the store and get some cucumbers, watermelons, and pickles. All right. Why can't we do that? We don't do that. We jump into conclusions, so you think. TD Jakes had this thing out. He had a song out called No More Sheets. No, I think it was, I can't think of the name of it, but something to do with satin sheets. And so I remember that. And the thing is, I hate satin sheets. And not only that, I hate brand new sheets. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the feel of it. And so we don't sleep on brand new sheets because I can't sleep on it. It just, the scent just throws me off. And so my wife washes brand new sheets. And the thing is, I had to get that to her because I tried. Seriously, I tried to sleep on new sheets. And then I had a problem with it. The sheets are still clean, but they just been washed. They have to be broken down. I can't sleep on brand new sheets. I don't like the smell, seriously, and I don't even like satin sheets at all. You know, and but you have to listen. Don't say, "Oh, honey, it's been so many years, and I thought this was a great idea because I want to surprise you and give you some satin sheets." If you already know that the that the dude don't want satin sheets, why would you give satin sheets? And that's problems in relationship. Your wife couldn't make fried chicken. You don't like fried chicken. You say, honey, please, you cook great. You're a great cook, but please do not fry any chicken for me. All right? Don't try to talk the dude into, he already said he didn't want it. And so if we learn to communicate and then reciprocate that, you know, and give it back to them and receive it, we listen and talk. Listen to understand. Talk when you got it. Ask questions. Move forward. If you learn those two simple traits, we assume something, then we cut. Hey Joe, you did this, and then you cuss him out. Blurt, 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 blurt. Find out what the problem is. You probably misunderstood. He misunderstood you, and it's a big misunderstanding. A lot of things that we do can be achieved if you take the time out and ask the question. Ask the question. It's not going to make you have a burn mark on your hand if you ask the question. To compliment somebody, to say, you're great. I'm glad you stuck it in with me all these years. Instead, they go off, boom, boom. You don't do this good. You don't do that good. This drives people away. It drives. Nobody wants to be under that constant pressure. People don't understand what folks go through, especially and men go through it. White men, black men, and it doesn't matter. It's not harder because the family's black. It's not harder because the family's white or Latino. Men like peace. I don't care if they from Russia or Denmark or Spain. Dudes like peace. Don't try to sell something that you already know is not going to be received. And then it's not received. What do you do when things aren't received? I role play because I deal with this stuff. And I try to help people and stuff. And when you don't receive, you get upset and you know they don't even want it. And you get upset because they don't want it. Now, tell me what sense. I have to laugh sometimes because it sounds crazy, right? You know they don't want it, and you give it to them anyway. No. We fail. We fail. Seriously. We fail to what? We don't listen, and we don't talk. We get upset. We shut down. They didn't understand you. You shut down. Now you don't talk. You don't want to say nothing, and everything's out of proportion. It's not even what you wanted. The conversation didn't go the way you thought it should have went. What's wrong? Taking a time out. Relax, gather your thoughts, and say, do you have a moment to talk to me? We, women have the most beautiful gifts out there. And I always say women don't have so much power, they don't know it. And they could drive a guy away, they can make his life miserable, or they can bring peace to the house and then have the guy excited just to be around you. Just with one thing, attitude. One thing, how you present it. It's the difference between shut up and be quiet. Can you please be quiet? Shut up. They're two different approaches. And I'm personally, I like the peace mode. I stay busy, because I like to be at peace. And I like my life at peace. I got so much stuff going on. And so the busier I am, I'll have to focus on, the church is not doing this. And I need to pay bills over here. I need to do this over here. I'm about to retire from this. And I'm about to start this. I'm about to do this. I got big time to, write my book. I mean, when you're at peace, things just flow. Boom, 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 boom. You know, even God wants us to be at peace. Isn't that amazing? And so we have to find that place so we can find peace in our lives to do what makes sense, you know, to be in that glow, of just happiness. It's hard to find. It truly is. It's hard to find, you know, uh, uh, when we can't be at peace the way we want to be, And so it's amazing. But when you find it, oh my God, it's excellent. But we have to understand people, and it's human nature to do that. You know, to find time to understand. Let me understand you a little bit better. Let me try to understand what you're saying. Let me take a moment to understand you so I don't misunderstand you. And so you'll have a better night's sleep if you could just do that. Those simple things. It's not hard at all. It's not hard. We look at relationships and then we got to understand that the standard relationship is eroding. It's eroding. It's hard to find love. On top of that, guess what? Our young people, because of what they've seen over the years, of what examples their parents and grandparents and people in general that's married is supposed to be setting, they're like, let's just live together. Let's cohabitate. And that only creates more problem because God has a design for us that we should live by, and we should learn to find it so we can live by it. It's cocoa water is so good. But anyway, we have to find that peace, that standard of peace, and live for that. Live for that. And when you get it, that's how you know I'm in love. That's how you know the little things make a difference. That's how I can live with this and I like how this person treat me. But you have to communicate this stuff. Don't just expecting. And sometimes we expect things for the wrong reason. We don't put out positive energy and then we expect the world. No, it's nothing's gonna happen. People scared, I wish they come on and say, you know what, I want to talk about this. And I, because I'm beautiful, don't I deserve this or another? I'm waiting for people to come on. I've tried to invite some people to come on because you know, life is more than just being handsome, for guys, or handsome privilege or beautiful. And we call that pretty privilege, And so life is beyond that. And we got to find that thing. What works? What makes this work? What makes that work? We got to find that. The essence of peace the way it's supposed to be. The essence of love the way it's supposed to be. And so this thing is not, over indulging us. It's not eroding, And so we want to make sure that our love is not senseless. It's not, you don't want to just be there just to be there. I'm here just to pass time. Oh wow, what better things to do? I think that's boring. It's not going to work. It's not going to, last in the long run. It doesn't work like that. All right. So, we covered a lot. I asked, answered a lot of questions, and so I want y'all to get this thing, and when we do, it gets better. Questions get better, and this and that, and then we're moving to other directions, and so it's some directions I'm not having any touch yet because I'm just trying to gauge in more people, but I want new folks to talk to and stuff like that. I want to look at ideals that's beyond what we think and talk and say wow, wow, wow. I want to get that wow moment. I love that word wow, you know. And so I try to make that standard with me to say it, and then when you see my stuff, you be like wow, look at that, important to me, seriously. And so that's what I want to do. That's what I try to do. But that's pretty much it for now. And so I thank you for taking this ride with me and journey down the path of relationships and divorce and so many questions we answered. Hopefully, we can apply this and then look at how our relationships can progress to get better. And you're excited and you're happy. Oh, I'm so glad I tuned into the Mike Gilchrist show because he's given good stuff. He's helped me in so many ways. Da 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 da. Because that's what I'm bringing. That's the energy I'm bringing. And we want to see more happiness, more love. Love. We need more love. You know what the world needs now, right? That's a song. Is love, right? And so we don't put that out there, all right, for each of us as we go forward. And I just want to appreciate everyone, for everything that's happening. And I had my one flyer for my church because I said I'm start advertising at the end, they wanted me to pull that out because some of the music was on there was not officially supposed to put it out there, and I had to change. I'm working on changing it. So, but going forward, we'll make sure that we implement a different way of getting it out there. And but I'm Mike Gilchrist, and I always say faith connected to the power words bring forth the reality of God. And I say that, time and again, because I want us to understand that and how important that is, for us. Um, and go from there, let me try to find this real quick because there's so much stuff out here. Um, and I can't find it. Oh my God. But give me 1 second here. I can never find some stuff when I want to. And then sometimes I find everything right then and there. And so I might have to forego it, you know. Going down the list, um, see what happens. Boy, I thought that was it. And we're closing, just give me a second here. I don't see it. So next time we'll put it out there. All right. So nevertheless, we're going to move on because I don't have time to find it and go from there. All right. But nevertheless, we're going on. And I said my little quote, and I have an issue. This thing tell me I have an issue. So I don't want to have any issues. All right. So let's do this right quick. Get the show moving. All right, we're having technical difficulties. So we're going to bid you good night and be back online tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but Friday, 8 p.m. All right, take care. Have a blessed night.